Our next story is about a growing emergency across Washington state and parts of Western Canada, where days of intense rain have triggered widespread and potentially historic flooding. United States and Canada have been hit by a powerful atmospheric river, which is a long, narrow band of water vapor that forms over the ocean and transports enormous amounts of moisture. When that moisture makes landfall, it releases intense, prolonged rainfall that can trigger major flooding, which will show entire neighborhoods flooded with homes, farmland and roads completely inundated. Officials say an atmospheric river has dumped relentless rain over the region, pushing rivers to dangerous levels and ravaging the ground. The storm has unleashed between 5 and 10 inches of rain across large areas of the Pacific Northwest. In fact, in some locations along the western slopes of the Cascade Mountains, rainfall over the past 72 hours has exceeded 1 foot. In Washington, more than 100,000 residents have been forced to evacuate due to the flooding, and Governor has declared a statewide emergency, warning that lives are at risk.
Let me just give you an update on our request. The state has a request for a declaration of emergency from the federal government. After my press conference yesterday afternoon, I had a call with them with FEMA, I believe, at 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon. We had a good conversation with General Welsh and others to describe in detail the situation here in Washington State and really the tremendous need that Washington State has for assistance from the federal government.
Authorities warn that flood levels could be potentially historic in one of the state's major agricultural areas where people have been ordered to evacuate. Home to roughly 78,000 people, the floodplain is prone to catastrophic flooding as rivers continue to rise. The Snohomish River in Washington has already crested at its highest level since 2006. The Washington governor also emphasized that the situation is unpredictable and dangerous.
The situation is, the word that was used by in the briefing earlier is unpredictable. And that's what we want to communicate to Washingtonians. This situation is extremely unpredictable. We're using the best information we can to provide guidance to the people of the state, but it is unpredictable. And I just want to emphasize that if you have instructions to evacuate from your local authorities, please, please, please evacuate. You know, your life is extremely important to us.
Meanwhile, in Canada's British Columbia, the heavy rain has finally eased, but thousands in the Fraser Valley remain on edge as rivers keep rising. Officials have expanded flood warnings and issued new evacuation orders after the storm dumped up to 150 millimeters of rain in less than 24 hours. Forecasters warn that another storm could hit the region by Sunday and that it could take weeks to fully recover from the damage. Near the US-Canada border, firefighters rescued several people from flooded homes. Authorities have closed dozens of highways and suspended service between Seattle and Vancouver, as some areas receiving over 6 inches in 24 hours, posing landslide and avalanche threats. Hundreds of National Guard members are being deployed to help with evacuation, rescues and logistical support. Officials are going door to door to urge residents to leave. Across the region, first responders are working around the clock to reach people stranded by the rising water.
Pierce County Sheriff's Office Swiftwater team is currently now at Bill and Dan's RV park in Ording. We have 3 active rescues that are going on. You can see the RVs that are underwater behind me, and we have 3 adults currently that our Swiftwater team is working on. We do have boats coming out to assist with this rescue, and there'll be more information to follow.
As the rain continues and rivers keep rising, authorities are urging everyone to stay alert, follow evacuation orders, and avoid traveling to risky areas.
I was born into revolution. I inherited power like a crown. What I delivered was isolation. I built a personality cult that touched every home. Millions suffered hunger under my rule, but no one dared to speak. I ruled from palaces. My people queued for rice. I called myself the dear leader. History calls me something else, the dictator. Who am I?